I found something quite astounding and I can't wait to share it with you. So off we go. Now, when Omid Scobie's book gets released on November the 28th, we'll know if the dastardly duo from Melodramacito has had a hand in it, because I think certain things will be doubled down on. The narrative will match, and particularly as far as timelines go, they'll match. So it'll be really interesting to see what we can find. I can't wait. I'm ready. But I have discovered something in Battle of Brothers. Now, you'll know a few videos ago when I was having a rebuttal against the Byline Times that I did discover something significant in Battle of Brothers about the fact that Meghan's representatives, sources in LA state that Meghan's representatives actually contacted a journalist at The Sun, letting them know about the possibility of a dirty laundry interview. You can go and see that video if you haven't seen it yet. But there is another thing in Battle of Brothers that it only just clicked. And it's also in Revenge, and that only just clicked. Timelines. Now, the main crux of Harry and Meghan's argument that the royal family, in particular Prince William and Catherine, were, so jealous of their success. And this came to a head during the Australian tour. And this was a main feature, a main argument in the Oprah Winfrey interview. Well, I just discovered something that just sort of refutes all of it and makes it complete rubbish. And it's as simple as a timeline. This is what Oprah Winfrey said in the interview, and then I'll go on and explain why this is astounding, what I found. So you were saying, asked Oprah Winfrey, talking to Meghan and Harry in their interview of March 2021, that there were hints of jealousy. And then Robert Lacey goes on to say, Harry was suggesting that Meghan had demonstrated in Australia the same massive star quality as Diana and was now having to face the family envy that went along with that. However, Harry implies in his book Spare, and everyone will immediately say, oh, well, why do you believe it? Well, it's important because he has manipulated and changed the timeline. And he has done that in order, this is me alleging, I'm not saying I'm right, do your own research, but in my opinion, that is what he's done. And I believe he has done that in order to make this jealousy narrative fly. Because if communications had completely broken down prior to the Australian tour, well, then they haven't got that as a reason why the royal family supposedly went sour on them, acted terribly jealous, and sort of pushed them out, have we? If it was irretrievably broken down prior to them hopping on the plane to Australia, then they can't claim that jealousy from the Australian tour caused the rift, can they? Well, that's exactly what happened. Robert Lacey points out in Battle of Brothers, and I didn't even realise it, is that William demanded the breakup of their comms teams and their officers prior to the Australian tour. Now, I read that and I sort of took that for granted and took it in, but Robert Lacey takes it a step further. He implies that William actually rang up Prince Harry and confronted him about the bullying allegations made against Meghan prior to the Australian tour. And Harry hung up on him, whereupon William went around to Notcott and managed to break his necklace and push him into the dog pole, according to Harry. But Harry's timeline says that that happened after the Australian tour. And he implies, although he doesn't specifically say, he's very careful not to give specific dates, but he implies that it was around the time Meghan was 5 or 6 months pregnant, which means it coincides, or it could be between 4 and 6 months pregnant. Again, he's not specific, but he does say it is after the Australian tour, because don't forget, she only just announced her pregnancy before they embarked on the tour. Now, Harry says in his book that this big, huge fight, she was along. She was like, okay, we'll say between 4 and 6 months. And I narrowed it down to her being away for the baby shower in New York, because Harry says she was away. when William supposedly came around and they had this huge Barney, right? But I suspect, like many things, it's their own truth. Because Robert Lacey points out that all of this went down before the Australian tour. And the reason why I trust Robert Lacey on this point, because he states in the book, on this point, he spoke to Prince William's friend. Now, he doesn't name the friend, but he doesn't say a palace source. He doesn't say a royal source. He says he knows this because he spoke to a very close friend of William's. So on the 16th of October 2018, prior to the Australian tour, feelings had already changed, as Harry put it, and drastically so. The brothers had parted on extremely poor terms, with the trouble centering on Meghan's stringent treatment and alleged bullying of staff. So following his furious confrontation with Prince Harry, prior to them going to Australia, I've got to keep emphasising that because it is the crux of Harry and Meghan's argument. It is the crux of what they presented to Oprah Winfrey, that the rift happened after the Australian tour due to the jealousy of the enormous star quality of Meghan Markle. William's expulsion order preceded Harry and Meghan's departure on their tour of Australia and the South Pacific in October 2018 because, as we know, his office had received report after report, he wrote, from people who had witnessed unacceptable behaviour by Meghan towards a member of staff. So, finishing off with a final quote from the book, they thought she was a complete narcissist and sociopath, basically unhinged. Now, this matters. The direct quotes from this book matter because, like I said, it was sourced from a close friend of Prince William. And again, like I said, the lawyers representing Meghan and Harry at the time claim that this report is totally defamatory. It has no basis in fact. I can leave you to decide what you wish to believe. But what is important about it and crucial about it now that Noam Scobie's book is coming out is if he mentions this incident, if he mentions about William supposedly breaking them up as the Fabulous Four and pushing them out and forcing them out of the country through his bullying, if Noam Scobie doubles down on that timeline that it was the jealousy from the Australian tour that caused all this to unfold, well, then I have just refuted that. So if that is in the book, it is too late for them to change it because it's already gone to print. And I have already proved to you through a very good source that that is untrue. That timeline is inaccurate and that jealousy did not play any part in any of the events that unfolded. I'll see you again very soon. Bye.